What's going on? So today's training we're going to dive into macros, and now I'm going to do it Barney style, like as easy as I can possibly make this, because I feel like people overcomplicate it and it needs to be explained better. That's the main issue I think most people are having, is they hear it but it's not registering, right? It just, you're like, what's a macro? I don't understand. How are we getting those? Why are we adding them up? So for most of you, let me just do a brief introduction. If you don't know who I am, my name is Megan. I am the CEO and founder of Valkyrie Fitness and Nutrition. My team and I help women, first responders, frontline professionals, healthcare, and military essentially reach their fitness goals. Now, this could be for weight loss, improving PT tests, losing weight. We've also helped women gain weight. So we have a very broad idea on what to do, how to get there, especially with 12-hour plus shifts. So that's why we specialize in helping those women. Can we help others? Of course. But we mainly drive and focus on those types of professions because we've all worked in them. My whole team is all women. We've all been in a first responder or military profession before. I have someone that's also in the healthcare space, so we have a really broad understanding of what to do, and my team also specializes in other avenues too, right? I have some of them that understand menopause and hormones, and I have some that are really great with postpartum, so things like that, right? So that's why I try to build my team of just women, because we all, one, understand what it's like to be a woman in these jobs, and two, just really bring a space for community there. So inside of the program, we use macros. Why do we use macros? Because it is the best way to manipulate foods for your goals. Once you understand macros, you can teach yourself how to eat just about everything and anything in a moderate way. So let's peel back the layers real quick. A lot of you might be doing keto or intermittent fasting, or you've done Optavia or Weight Watchers, so on and so forth, or maybe just calorie counting. Now, what's the main issue with all of those diets? One, it forces you to kind of restrict yourself in a tiny bubble, right? Like intermittent fasting, for instance, you were told you can only eat at a certain window. Not good. We don't want to only eat in a certain window. And another thing too, what happens is it restricts the amount of calories you're eating. So technically, all you really are is in a caloric deficit. The downside is when you're using intermittent fasting, for instance, if you're not tracking, it's still macro counting. Like everything you can use, keto, intermittent fasting, that can all be reversed back into macro counting. And if you do it that way, it's actually a lot more simple, a lot less stressful, and you can actually eat whatever you want, so to speak, without sabotaging your results. And that's what I teach inside of my programs, how to do that for clients inside of my Fat Burner Blueprint. So this is kind of like a broken down Barney style. Listen, I've been in the military, so what do they say? Let's run it Barney style, right? Let's teach it like as if a third grader could understand it, because if it's not taught that way, it's just overcomplicating things, right? You guys don't need to know all the science behind this stuff. That's what coaches are for, right? That's why we get certified. What you guys need to learn is, how can I make my nutrition so simple, less stressful, something that fits into my schedule and my routine, and it doesn't make me feel like it's this extra thing that's just like luring behind me and like I don't want to do it. That's why I teach macros, because I've been doing it for like, I don't know, now close to eight years for myself. So for me, like, tracking is no longer necessary, and that's what I want to give to my clients, is feeling like you don't need to do and diet forever. It's building the foundations, teaching you to do it while they're with us for the a lot of time that they're inside, and then giving them the opportunity to learn that they don't need to do it forever, right? Freedom in food. That's what we essentially want for you too, especially when you're in shift work. If you're a healthcare worker, first responder, you never know what the day is going to bring. You don't know if you're actually going to get, time to eat. So things like intermittent fasting don't always work, because what happens if you eat during that, you can't eat during your window. Now you're miserable. You're not losing any weight. You're stalling progress. You're not falling into the diet of the intermittent fasting. So this is why macros are the best. It really is. So let's Barney style it, right? So inside of your macros, you have proteins, carbs, and fats, right? They're the ones that make it up. I have a Rice Krispie treat here. I'm going to show you exactly what I mean, right? So on the back of basically any piece of like food in the grocery store that's in a wrapper, your meats. Sometimes, like if you go into the frozen food section, your veggies will have it. The nutrition label is your Bible. Just look at it that way. This is something you always want to pay attention to because it's going to teach you what foods are good foods and what foods are not like the most calorically beneficial, right? And then once you learn how to read this, like life is easy. So proteins, for instance, for every 1 gram, let me see if I can highlight this. Am I highlighting it? Okay. For every 1 gram, where'd my highlighter go? No color. It's 4 calories, okay? So 1 gram of protein equals 4 calories. So I'm going to show you and break this down. So we're starting here first, right? So 1 gram of protein equals 4 calories. Now if I go over here, carbs, 1 gram of carbs equals 4 calories also, okay? Stay with me. Proteins and carbs, 1 gram, 4 calories. Fats, 1 gram equals 9 calories. Now, fats are more calorically dense, all right? Don't worry about why, they just are. So, your calories, right, all of these are units of energy. I need you guys to start thinking of food as energy and fuel and less of whatever you're kind of using it as, like a crutch. Like some people use it for like happiness, stuff like that. Think of it as fuel for your body. I want you to change your mindset around food because once you do, life becomes way, way more simple. So that's what calories are. It helps us. It helps us think. It helps our brain function, our organs function. Helps us grow our hair, skin, nails. Also, right, helps us with exercise, losing weight, all that fun stuff. It's energy. It has a flow of other things that it's doing, not just for our weight loss journey. Like people get really caught up on that. So remember, we need caloric intake for a lot of internal things, right? This is why so many people have, they lose bone density because they've been in a caloric deficit for decades. And then when they reach their 60s, 70s, 80s, they break bones, break a hip, need surgery. They're susceptible to a lot more injuries because they've been in such a caloric deficit for so long. This is what we're trying to save women from, is living in that constant diet cycle. So, right, unit of energy, let's do that. Macros are added up in the food, right? So that's what a calorie is. So I'm going to break this down real fast for you. A Rice Krispie treat on the back of here is 90 calories, okay? I don't know how far this is going to go. So on this, on the nutrition label, there are 2 grams of fat. So what's 2, right? 2 grams of fat times 9, right? Barney style. 18. Good job. Okay, great. So you know how to multiply. That's what we want. So 2 times 9 is 18. So we already know that out of those 90 calories, 18 of those are from our fats. Got it? Cool. All right, perfect. So we're going to keep going. Stay with me. All right. Now, inside, there are 17 grams of carbs inside of this, right? Carbs are 4 calories per 1 gram. Good job. So if we do 17 times 4, we get 68, okay? Great. Now, it says on the back of this, less than 1 gram of protein. So what do? They always round up because they're not very strict on these, okay? So I want you to understand that. So when that happens is they just kind of round up. So less than 1 gram of protein, they're saying that there is 4 calories for that 1 gram, right? 1 times 4 is 4. Okay, good. So when we add up 18 plus 68 plus 4 calories, that's where we get 90 calories total. So that is macros. That's the simplest breakdown of them. Is it's adding up each one of the macros, figuring out the caloric amount of those macros, and then they're posting it at the top. All right, where's my nutrition? At the top in big bold letters, okay? So what happens is people get really caught up on the caloric amount and they're not paying attention to the macro amount, and that's really what we want to focus on, because what that means is it's actually figuring out how things are broken down. Because let's say, for instance, I'm over on my carbs. Now eating this wouldn't be the best case scenario, right? There's barely any protein in it, and there's 17 grams of carbs. So this is Barney style macros. Simple, easy. Start looking at it. Start paying attention to your nutrition labels. It's going to start to open your eyes a little bit more, okay?